Hey everyone, it's Ravenhawk6910 reporting once again. Today I've got a big one in store for you. This is going to be an in-depth review, running, and comparison of the General Electric ES44AC from both Lionel and MTH. More specifically, in this video we're going to be comparing their takes on the Norfolk Southern style of GEVOs, more specifically the Norfolk Southern Heritage units. So today we're going to be looking at 4 locomotives at once, 3 ES44s from Lionel and 1 ES44 from MTH. I'll be comparing both models in terms of their details to the prototype engines, as well as the pros and cons of each engine. However, before we get started in this video, I have to put up a quick disclaimer. The pros and cons of this video are not representations of my personal opinion. They attempt to be objective in nature, and as such are either community opinions or facts about the models that I can represent on camera. So please do not assume that anything in this video is my personal opinion unless I state so otherwise. Additionally, it's important to note that I do not speak on behalf of MTH or Lionel, or any other company listed, and I am not endorsed by any company. I am an independent reviewer, and the work I do does not reflect the thoughts of any companies in question. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's get on with the review. The ES44AC is a 6-axle diesel-electric locomotive built by General Electric Transportation Systems, otherwise known as GE, as part of their Evolution series of locomotives. Production began in early 2003 and continued until 2014 when the model was replaced by the Tier 4 compliant ET44AC. Norfolk Southern currently rosters 166 ES44ACs. Most of them are in the standard NS horsehead paint scheme, but 10 are painted in special heritage paint schemes to honor NS's 30th anniversary in 2012. The units seen here today include the Southern Railway, the Norfolk and Western, and the Monongahela Railway. The Southern and N&W units are made by Lionel, and the Monongahela is made by MTH. Also, the NS8065 seen here is also made by Lionel. The N&W and Southern units were offered in Lionel's 2012 Volume 2 catalog. The Monongahela was offered in MTH's 2013 Volume 2 catalog, and the black NS8065 was offered in Lionel's 2015 Volume 1 catalog. Now, the reason I'm including the 8065 in this review is because, with the exception of the horn on the powered units from the Heritage unit run, this GEVO is identical to the Heritage units in detail. One final thing I need to point out is that the Southern and N&W units are different road numbers from the actual Heritage units. The real Southern Heritage unit is numbered 8099, and the real N&W unit is number 8103. The reason these units are different numbers is that Lionel offered 3 different road numbers for each of the Heritage units to allow people who wanted multiple units in the same paint scheme with different road numbers if they wanted to do that. 2 powered and 1 non-powered. The units you're looking at here are the non-powered versions. MTH also made non-powered versions of the NS Heritage units, but unlike Lionel, MTH chose to make the units with the same road numbers as the prototype units in both powered and non-powered. This would allow people to get all 20 of the Heritage units without having to fork over so much cash. An example can be seen here with the NS SD70ACE number 1069, the Virginian Heritage unit, which is non-powered, but the same concept was done with the ES44ACs as well. The powered Lionel ES44ACs feature Lionel's Legacy Command System, Legacy Rail Sounds, and fan-driven smoke units. They can be operated 3 ways, either using the Lionel Legacy remote, the Lionel Classic TMCC remote, or conventionally with just a transformer and some track. The powered MTH ES44s feature MTH's Digital Command System, or DCS, and MTH's Protosound 3.0 sound system. There are also 3 ways to operate this engine as well. MTH's DCS command system is the preferred method, however you can also operate them conventionally with a transformer and some track, or you can operate them with DCC if you choose to use this engine as a 2-rail model. Each model of the NS ES44s have lots of great details, so let's go take a look at some of those details and compare them to each other as well as to the prototype units. So let's go in for a closer look. Both pilots on the engines feature separately applied details such as MU hoses, snowplows, coupler cut bars, and other items. The snowplow on the MTH engine comes in a small bag and must be screwed on by the buyer. On the powered units, both engines feature remote control couplers which can be fired from either the Lionel Legacy TMCC remote or the MTH DCS remote. On the Pilot, both models feature operating ditch lights which flash when the engine is in motion and the horn is blown. The main difference with the pilots on the ES44 is the fact that on Lionel's model, the units feature Lionel's semi-fixed pilot, which, unlike most 3-rail O-scale models, are fixed to the body of the engine instead of to the truck. This allows the engines to still get around tighter turns while still looking more realistic. The pilot can still turn from side to side, and the electrocoupler is attached to the semi-fixed pilot. All of these features are carryovers from the die-cast metal Vision Line ES44 hybrid. It in fact was one of the few features that was carried over from the die-cast ES44 to the more affordable plastic body ES44s, and it's a nice feature and one of my favorites of any Lionel Gevo. The MTH units feature more traditional truck-mounted pilots and couplers, which doesn't look as realistic as the Lionel model, but does allow the engine to get around tighter turns unlike the Lionel model. While the semi-fixed pilot does allow the engine to get around some tight turns, the MTH units can operate on curves as tight as 0.36. The Lionel model can operate on 0.48, but the official recommendation from Lionel is 0.54. Moving up to the cab, we see another difference between the two models. On the Lionel unit, the cab has been changed to better reflect the Heritage units and the Norfolk Southern style in general. NS still orders locomotives with high headlights mounted between the number boards, instead of on the nose like most other US Class 1s. However, on the prototype, there is a hole on the nose where a nose-mounted headlight would normally go. Instead of making the area flush with the rest of the nose, GE opted to leave that hole there and place a plate on the back. I'm not sure why they opted to do this, as other Gevos that NS has bought prior to the ES44AC have had flush noses. No matter the reason, Lionel's model has this detail, which does add a lot to the realism of the engine. Lionel also changed the handrails, anti-climbers, and grab irons to better match the NS units, as well as changed the GPS and radio antennas on the roof of the cab. On the Monongahela unit, the cab does not have the nose headlight cavity, and the handrails on the front are closer to designs of that on UP, CN, and BNSF units. When it comes to this engine, though, I do need to point out some differences between the real 8025 and the other ES44s in the Heritage fleet. The 8025 is from a slightly earlier delivery from the first ES44s that NS rosters, and unlike the other 9 ES44s in the Heritage fleet, the 8025 was delivered in the Horsehead scheme and later painted into the MGA scheme. In that first delivery, the doors on the ES44s had windows in them. Later ES44s, like the Heritage units, did not. This MTH model, as per the real 8025, has the window in the door. Also, on the roof of the engine, the GPS and radio antennas are an earlier design seen on earlier ES44s. But keep in mind, the real 8025 has this as well, so MTH got this correct. However, the door and grab irons on the nose should be on the opposite side to where they are now. This isn't a big deal to me personally, but I did want to point this out because there are some people who do care about this. As a quick side note, the doors on the Lionel ES44s are molded in and cannot be opened. The MTH ES44 front door looks like it can be opened, however I myself have not tried it because I don't want to risk breaking it. The Lionel and MTH ES44s both feature great details around the dynamic brake grille and hood doors on both sides of the models. Moving back to the radiator housings, you'll notice some differences in the grills on both units. On the Lionel ES44, you will notice the grill working is correct to that of the Tier 3 ES44. The MTH models, regardless if you are getting a Heritage Unit 1 or otherwise, all feature grills that are from earlier Gevo production. On the top of the models, both units feature a 5-chime horn. The radiator section on the top of both models can be removed to reveal the engine controls on each unit. On the Lionel ES44, we've got the run program switch, the Odyssey speed control on-off switch, the smoke unit on-off switch, and the master volume control. On the non-powered units, there's nothing underneath the radiator housing. On the MTH ES44, we have the master volume control, the smoke unit output volume pot, the switch to toggle between DCS and DCC operations, and the switch to operate the engine as either a 3-rail or a 2-rail model. On the back of the engines, both units feature die-cast pilots with separately applied details, and on the powered units, an operating coupler. Moving up on each engine, there's an operating reverse light. The MTH ES44 light is vertical, and the Lionel's is horizontal. This is correct for the NS ES44s. However, the Lionel model does not feature rear ditch lights, which all Norfolk Southern ES44s have. This is for long hood forward operations, which is still fairly common on NS to this day. MTH, on the other hand, does have ditch lights mounted on the rear of their ES44 and their operating ditch lights, so, like the front ones, they flash when you blow the horn and the engine is moving in that direction. Okay, we've looked at the details on each unit. Now let's fire them up and take a listen to the sounds, and we'll run them around for a little bit. Okay, first let's take a look at the MTH ES44. Here's the startup sequence. So first up, here's the horn. And the bell. And here's some of the crew talk. Ready to roll it out. Now in a few minutes I'll stop it and I'll play the passenger freight announcement sequence. Okay, next up, let's check out the Lionel ES44, starting with the startup sequence. Here's the horn. And the bell. And here's some of the crew talk.
Dispatcher, my fuel's just about empty. Running on fumes. Can I pull? Over. Roger, your track is Dispatcher, over. Roger that. We got your signal. Out. Dispatcher here. Take the green. Over. Roger that. Green boards. Out.
The Lionel ES44 also comes with a feature called Auto Start, or Sleep Mode. On real ES44s and other modern diesels, this function shuts the engine prime mover off and keeps it off for a set amount of time, and then the system on board restarts the prime mover and the engine returns to idle. This allows the engines to save on fuel by not running 24/7, and also prevents the engines from freezing over in winter. Sleep mode works automatically on this model by simply letting the engine sit in idle for several minutes. Then at a set point, the engine will go to sleep. And with that, the engine's now in sleep mode. So now, from this point, for 2 minutes, you'll hear a soft bell sound. That's the bell from the prime mover inside the engine. This sound will keep doing it for about 2 minutes, and then you'll hear a long bell sound, shortly followed by the engine starting up again. Or you can hit any button on the remote to let the engine start up automatically to wake it up. Blowing the horn, ringing the bell, or throwing the coupler will do this. But I like to wait for the whole sequence to complete, so let's wait for that. There's the long bell. And there we go, we're back to idle and the engine's wide awake again. Before I move the engine out, I'm going to activate sequence control, which will automate all the sounds on the engine and play the appropriate sounds based on the engine's operations. To activate this, hold down the aux1 key on either the legacy or the TMCC remote for about 3 seconds, and then you'll hear a ding ding toot sound, which means it's activated. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, it's activated, so here we go. So after all of this, you're probably thinking one thing. Raven, which model do you like best? And Raven, which model should I buy? Well, as far as my favorite model, the honest answer is I like both versions.
What? Why are you not saying either Lionel or MTH? Why will you not give me the satisfaction of hearing that my favorite company's version is your favorite?
Put down your pitchforks! The bottom line is that both engines are great models with fantastic sounds and features, which makes both of them worth getting for your collection. Which one should you get? That boils down to your personal preference. If you like Lionel better, then Lionel is for you. If you like MTH, then the MTH model is for you. Or, if you like both of them, it could boil down to price. The Lionel ES44 costs about $100 more than the MTH models do. This is for both powered and non-powered versions. If your layout can only accommodate engines whose minimum curve is 036, the MTH version is your only option. If you have larger curves like 048, 054, and higher, then either model is fine. As for me, the first ES44 I bought when I got into 3-rail O-scale was the Monongahela unit. Why did I get the MTH version? Mainly because it was available and because I could afford it. And that was my only ES44 in my collection for the next 3 years, until I finally got the 8065, and then that was shortly followed by the N&W and Southern ES44s, which I bought for my birthday this year. Why did I get the non-powered versions of these heritage units? Again, they were available and I could afford them. Now, because I've got these 3 ES44s from Lionel, does that mean I'm not going to buy any more from MTH? Of course not. I love the MTH ES44 just as much as I do the Lionel one. And the way I see it, if I'm going to get all of the Norfolk Southern Heritage units, which one day that may just happen, then why would I want to get all of them from one company? That doesn't make any sense. So my final word here is get whatever version you want. In the end, it's your railroad, so do things by your rules. So with that, that's all I have for you in this video. If you're interested in getting any of these models, they list as follows. The powered ES44s from Lionel list anywhere between $500 and $600. The non-powered versions list anywhere from $200 to $300. The powered MTH ES44 lists anywhere from $400 to $500, and the non-powered units list from about $150 to $200. So, until next time, this is Ravenhawk6910, signing off.